It's a pretty good option when you're in the city to call animal control, but for people out in the country, like here just outside of Earl, Arkansas, critter control can't come too quickly here, so sometimes people have to take it into their own hands. With me now is my brother, Grant Bennett. Grant, you have some familiarity with this part of the country and with the coyotes in this area. How big of a problem are they to you?
Well, they're a pretty big problem around here. There's a large number of them, specifically around this farm and farms around here. They get after our deer. They kill our deer that we need for meat and all that. And they've also been known to go after house pets like dogs and cats and get them too.
You just had a interaction pretty recently while you were on a tractor out in one of our CRP fields with a coyote. Can you describe that interaction?
Yeah. Basically, I was just disking the field, and it was later in the evening. Started to get dark. I turned the headlights on the tractor, and looked up and saw a coyote just about probably 40, 50 yards in front of me, just staring at the tractor. So kind of it gets at that point it gets we have a problem there, since obviously that one was not afraid of people or human contact, which that starts to be a safety issue for people, and we can't have that.
Also, when I was doing my research for this piece, I was kind of afraid we weren't going to have too many static shots of the coyotes, but actually, within the past couple days, we did get a couple photos of some coyotes on game cameras. We'll show those in just a few seconds, but actually, here on the property, we have some photos of coyotes.
That's right. We have some. We got 'em. We got pictures of coyotes on the trail cameras that we have set up right in front of our tree stands where we're trying to hunt deer. So I mean, so obviously, they're where the deer are. They're in a position where they can kill the deer that we're trying to kill, and that's just not a good thing.
Plus, it can be a little bit of a danger being that close to people.
Yeah, that's totally right. Especially when if one of us happens to shoot a deer, we go and try to get it so we can clean it and get the meat and everything. There very well could be a coyote that gets to it before us, and by the time we get there, it might try to defend what it thinks is its property.
How big are like diseases, especially? I know that one time we have seen a coyote with mange. Are the diseases in this part a big deal, or is it just the coyotes themselves that are presenting the danger?
It's mostly just the coyotes themselves. Mange is not as big of a problem around here, and I think as far as diseases go, I think the biggest problem we have with coyotes and disease around here would be rabies, which we haven't seen too many cases of that, but that we have seen a few in the past.
Just like Grant said, it can be pretty dangerous whenever we are going out into areas where we know coyotes are. So, just for the record, I will have this 223 with me just for safety. That's going to be the only reason for that. But other than that, we're going to head on into the woods now. We've been known to find some tracks over in this area anyway. Just kind of look like dog prints, like Blue's Clues, except with rabies. Anything?
There ain't nothing over here.
Alright.
Cocaine and deer tracks.
So our next spot that we're heading to, it's the place where we got the coyotes on the game cameras. There's some sweet potatoes in front of a tripod deer stand, and that's where we caught the coyotes at right now. So Grant's on ahead of me right now. He's got the 223 just in case. But we are heading straight to the spot where we know we've seen coyotes within the past couple days. See over here, the potatoes, and on that pole, there's the game camera. So it doesn't look like there's any tracks here right now, and that's okay. That's good for us anyway. Alrighty, so we'll check out one more spot real quick, see if we can't see any coyotes, and I think we'll... Okay, so this last spot that we're going to check, we're going to head actually into the thicker part of the woods right now, so trying to walk in, operate the camera is going to be great, but what's inside these woods here is the main thing. We've got a ditch. There's a ditch through here, and the coyotes will literally run up and down the ditch trying to find deer and other small animals that they can eat, like rabbits and things like that. So we're going to head over to the ditch where we know that some coyotes have been recently. Here's the big ditch behind me. And the coyotes will just use this like an interstate so they can get to different parts of the farm area. And it just goes on forever. One other thing that's going to be big for coyotes, you're going to look for areas where water can pool up so they can have some kind of drinking water, something like that. Sure enough, all throughout this ditch, you can find areas like that. So we're actually going to go around that little puddle real quick. One other thing while I'm thinking about it, just some stories reading up. You've got multiple sightings, not just in eastern Arkansas, but also in West Tennessee as well, especially in Memphis. There's been sightings that I've seen. There's been a lot between 2011 and the last year. There was a big story last year, actually in Midtown and Lakeland, where there were multiple reports from like 5 or 6 coyotes in Midtown. And then the bigger story was supposedly around Lakeland Elementary, where there were some coyotes around the elementary school. So with what we know about coyotes, that's a huge public safety issue. Coyotes out around Overton Park and an elementary school in Lakeland. So this is a huge topic. I know it sounded kind of weird when I'm talking about coyote overpopulation and things like that, but if they're coming to where the people are because we're building over where they're living, then they're going to come right into our homes. I mean, we kind of took over where they're living at, so they're just going to keep on keeping on doing their thing. And like Lakeland Elementary, you got some coyotes really close to some kids. Now, what we just did there is what we call scouting, where we would go and walk around and look for areas that would be good to do the best way to catching coyotes, which is what's called trapping, where you place these foothold traps, usually put some bait in front of the traps. The coyotes will step in the traps, it'll grab them by the feet, then we'll come later and dispatch the coyotes. But right now, just your basic scouting mission to kind of see whether or not there was any coyote activity. We didn't see any today, so don't look like we're going to be putting out some traps anytime soon. When we're talking about trapping, one of the main things that's used in the trapping community is a foot trap such as this. It kind of works like your basic mouse trap, sort of, except instead of your mouse trap actually cutting the thing in half, it just gets it by the foot. these two deals here. Instead of like your normal foot trap that you think of, like with a bear, there's no teeth on it. It's just the flat edges that you see here on the side. It also has a chain here as well, so that you can hook it up to a tree so that the coyote can't run away too far off, so it can still be in that general area when you get to it. And it also has this area here in the middle where if any kind of pressure is activated on it, then it will release the trap and the two ends will close in on it like that.